Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Crusaders 2127. We've got an urgent update. I need you guys to spread far and wide. And I'm going to try and keep my cool on it, but I just got to say it's adding up. First of all, the mainstream media has been pushing a grid down situation. They've been pushing attacks on the power grid, I should say. We all know what that means. 9 out of 10 Americans would potentially die. That's catastrophic. Now, let me slow down on the fear-mongering for a sec here, because that's what it's going to get called, but I just can't believe the news I read. I'm still stunned at it, because we just had a very large solar flare, and scientists, mainstream media, are saying it's going to affect the power grid. An extreme solar flare is blasting its way to Earth and could mess up some power grids. What the hell? I've heard it's going to mess with radio frequencies. I've heard it's going to mess with some satellite communication. I have never heard in my life it's going to mess up some power grids, satellites, and radio transmissions, scientists say. It's been several years since Earth had a solar storm of this size, coming from sunspots smack in the middle of the sun, said Tom Berger, director of the Space Weather Prediction Center in Boulder, Colorado. I'm stunned. And not to mention, I had to show you this. This was pointed out by Red Pill Revolution. I was sent to that video, or sent a link to that video, and I watched it. 9/11. And Obama just gave his speech. He mentioned the economy, and he mentioned that we're going to vanquish ISIS. BS. You haven't done a damn thing. I don't know. We just had another big one. Not to mention, as we complete upgrades in your area, there may be a brief service outage at 2 a.m., September 11th. We're talking about communications. Now, granted, this is a truck ad. Now, pay no attention to that. It's just it's a snapshot. But this is the notice from Sudden Link. So I went and did some more research. Many readers are already aware that the terror attacks of 9/11 were accompanied by NORAD training drills. And despite what we were initially told, NORAD had trained several times to respond to the exact scenario that killed more than 3,000 people that day. You've probably also read that the Aurora theater shooting was mimicked by an active shooter drill in nearby Parker, also on the same day. You may also know that Sandy Hook shooting was taking place only 28 minutes away from a FEMA drill, L-366, planning for the needs of children in disasters. The morning after the West Texas fertilizer plant explosion, a nearby hospital posted this message to their webpage. Due to the events in West Texas last night, North Hills Hospital and NCTTRAC have chosen to cancel today's emergency preparedness drill. Many of the same resources planned for the drill have already deployed to West and to help care for the victims down there. The Boston Marathon, same stuff. Regardless of what one chooses to make of all this, these are facts, which became all the more disturbing for me this morning. While I was waiting for my coffee to brew and truck shopping on the internet, a message from my internet service provider informed me that at 2 a.m. on the morning of 9/11, I would be without internet service due to a planned outage. The question is how many others? My gut reaction was that this was an insensitive and pretty stupid decision on their part. In our area, many people are getting ready for work at 2 a.m. Should enough West Texas oil field workers unexpectedly find the internet down at 2 a.m. on 9/11, things could get hairy quickly. This identity ate at me. So while I was fueling up on the way to the job site, I did some research to see if anyone else would be without internet on that day. What I found shocked me. On 9/11/2014, all across our nation, ISPs and PSPs, phone service providers, are implementing planned outages. Excuse me for raising my voice. The most common excuse is for maintenance. That's right, on the anniversary of the worst attack against the U.S. in living memory, when we'll all be compelled to reach out to friends and family. And on that very day, the high-level sources are warning that we should expect another terrorist attack. There seems to be a coordinated effort to prevent communication. As a former telecoms professional, I know that such a high number of simultaneous outages is extraordinary. But anyone can see that this anomaly occurring on 9/11 is not only bizarre, but also incredibly troubling. Some of these outages, like the one at UC San Diego, will last all day, from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. I found that a high number of universities, including the University of Iowa, as well as Michigan State, will be without internet that day, regardless of the fact it's a work day and a school day for our nation's tuition indebted students. I've included links and screen captures, but you really can't even begin to grasp the scope of this thing until you search it for yourself. Try the search for planned internet outage on September 11th, 2014. The results go on for pages. If searching for planned outages, September 11th, 2014, one will find that many communities will also be without electricity on 9/11 due to planned outages. Is this some kind of sick joke? I can't help but wonder how many people are unaware. How will they react when they find themselves unable to get online or make a phone call and they realize today is 9/11? Now consider this. It seems that portions of nearly every federal agency, police department, and even volunteer fire departments will be engaged in some kind of disaster training on 9/11/2014. I suppose one could argue that this is a good thing. At least they're all present and accounted for should some terrorist attack actually occur. On the other hand, fewer officers on the street make it easier for terrorists to execute a plot successfully. Given the amount of planning that would be required to pull off an attack on America's soil, it's reasonable to assume that any would-be perpetrators may have also stumbled upon this data and use it to their advantage when picking a target. Conceivably, they would have chosen a community that's also conducting first responder training on the same day, thereby compounding the weakness and exponentially increasing the potential for tragedy. Oh, don't forget, the Daily Mail reported last week that terrorist forces in Libya have acquired 11 commercial airliners. The evidence is there. If we get hit tomorrow, we know exactly who to blame. We know exactly what caused this. The fact that they're planning nationwide outages of not just telecommunications, but internet, power, everything, is extremely alarming. Why don't we throw a solar flare in there as well? Due to hit tomorrow morning, by the way. That's when scientists are going to say. It's a perfect excuse. On the calm side, no matter what happens, it's been planned, and it will come to pass, if you're saved. I don't like saying this kind of stuff because, well, it pisses me off, number one, because it's all planned. Number two, how many people have to pay the price because a sick and tyrannical powers-that-be government want to kill people, want to take lives, want to disease children? This just adds a lot of it up. That's all the news I got for right now. God bless. Take it easy. Thanks, everybody, for watching.